Will the Senate please come to order? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Aquino. Senator Awa. Senator Chang. Senator DeCoit.
Excused.
Senator Dela Cruz.
Excused.
Senator Elefante.
Here.
Senator Favela. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Gabbard. Senator Hashimoto. Senator Ihara.
Present.
Senator Inoue.
Present.
Senator Kanuha. Senator Keoho Kalole.
Yo.
Senator Kidani. Senator Kim. Senator Lee. Senator McKelvey.
Aye.
Senator Moriwaki.
Present.
Senator Rhodes. Senator Richards.
Here.
Senator San Buenaventura. Senator Shimabukuro. Senator Wakai. Senator Dela Cruz. Mr. President.
Present.
24 present, 1 excused.
Thank you. The chair has read the journal of the preceding day and approves the same. Do we have any introductions this morning?
Mr. President?
Senator Richards.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to introduce my office, the awesome team from District 4. I have my office manager, Marguerite Olson, my legislative aide in our moment of contemplation, Reggie Garcia, and our session hire, Lisa Carter. Welcome to the Senate.
Thank you. Further introduction, Senator McKelvey.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm excited to be joined by Keiki from Lahaina and Kula and Maui for the Kaipuni program. They're here to basically be at the table, address their state government. I'm so proud to have you guys in the House, so please stand to be recognized by your state Senate, and welcome to the state Senate. Aloha. And at a later time, I'd be permitted to insert their names into the journal.
If you submit them to the clerk, so ordered. Further introductions this morning, Senator Favela.
Thank you, Senate President. I want to say a big mahalo and aloha to Tuli Tafai, not only a resident from my community, but a great coach and a great member of our community. Welcome to your state Senate.
Any further introductions? If not, Madam Clerk.
Governor's message numbers 761 to 763, withdraw nominations to the Health Planning Council, and Governor's message number 764, corrects a nomination to the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee.
File.
On pages 2 and 3, House Communication numbers 757 and 758 inform the Senate that the House has reconsidered its action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the Senate to various House bills.
File.
On pages 4 to 13, Standing Committee Report numbers 3829 to 3861 for one-day notice.
So ordered.
On pages 13 to 15, advise and consent.
If there are no objections from the members, we will be taking advice and consent on consent.
Standing Committee Report numbers 3825 and 3826 on Governor's messages for adoption.
Is there any discussion? Senator Kidani?
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of GMs 735, 520, and GM 710, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Please proceed.
Colleagues, the Senate Committee on Education has moved to advise and consent on the following nominees to the Hawaii State Board of Education. GM 735, Mr. Roy Takumi. GM 520, Ms. Kahele Onolani Duklo. GM 710, Ms. Mary Hattori. GM 711, Mr. Ken Kuraya. GM 712, Mr. Bill Arakaki. GM 713, Mr. Wesley Lowe. And GM 714, Ms. Elin Chung. Their wealth of experience in education as well as public service will serve all of our public schools well, and I ask for your consideration for these crucial positions. I now yield the floor back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Shimabukuro?
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of GM 567, appointing Walt Kaneakua to the Hawaiian Homes Commission.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Upon review of the testimony, your Committee on Hawaiian Affairs finds that Mr. Walt Kaneakua's background and dedication to serving the Native Hawaiian community qualify him for appointment to the Hawaiian Homes Commission. Currently, Mr. Kaneakua serves as director of the Hawaii Pacific Foundation, a nonprofit Native Hawaiian organization that fosters Native Hawaiian-owned and Native Hawaiian-serving small businesses. Mr. Kaneakua also teaches as a professor at the Pacific Rim Christian University and the U.S. Naval War College at Pearl Harbor. Your committee further notes that Mr. Kaneakua sits on the board of direct governors for Shriners Children Hospital. He has also worked as congressional staff for United States Senators Daniel K. Inouye and Mazie Hirono and Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. Your committee therefore recommends that Walt Kaneakua be appointed to the Hawaiian Homes Commission based on his experience, knowledge, and commitment to public service. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Any further discussion? Sorry. How about a round of applause after that? Further discussion. Senator Awa.
Mahalo Pelikakena. Please mark down my opposition to GM 735.
So noted. Further discussion. If not, do we have unanimous consent? Any reservations besides Senator Awa's no vote? Any other no votes? The nominees for said governor's messages have been confirmed. Do we have any late introductions, Senator Kidani?
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my honor to introduce our newest members of the Hawaii State Board of Education and their guests. Please stand and remain standing when your name is called. GM 735, Roy Takumi, as chairperson of the Board of Education, and his wife, Wanda Kutaka. Governor's Message 520, Kahele Onolani Juklo. GM 712, Bill Arakaki, joined by his wife, Blanche Arakaki. And GM 713, Wesley Lowe, joined by his wife, Nadine Gushi Lowe, and sister-in-law, Bridget Sawai. GM 714, Elin Chung, with her daughters Allison Chung Martins and Kristen Chung Higashiyama. Thank you, Board of Education members. You may be seated.
Before you sit down, you have a few more introductions. Senator Kidani, I believe.
Yes, I would also like to extend a heartfelt congratulations to GM 710 and 711, Ms. Mary Hattori and Ken Kuraya. While they were unable to be here with us today, they and their families are tuned in today's session via YouTube.
Are you going to introduce the head of our school system and his right hand?
I guess I will, since he is a very important person. And I did see him earlier. Our superintendent, Hikayashi. Thank you, Keith. Our Hawaii State Board of Education plays a pivotal role in formulating statewide educational policy, appointing executive leadership, and overseeing the Hawaii State Department of Education, as well as the Hawaii State Public Library System. As we confirm these nominees today, we reaffirm our commitment to providing Hawaii's public school students with access to quality education by confirming those who demonstrate commitment, passion, and competence to overseeing our one and only Hawaii State education system. Please join me in welcoming our newest members of the Hawaii Board of Education and our Superintendent, Keith Hayashi. Mahalo.
And now in my poor eyesight, I can see Camille and Tammy. Is there anyone else besides the two of them from the board or the Department of Ed? Would you please rise so we can thank you for being here today. Senator Shimabukuro, late introduction.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to introduce GM 567, our newest Hawaiian Homes Commissioner, Mr. Walt Kaneakua. And I'd like to introduce, he's accompanied by, and hold your applause, please stand when I call your name, Eda Kaneakua, his wife, his daughter and her family, Emily Kamakana and Ikua Kaimuloa, and of course our DHHL Director, Kali Watson. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you so much for being here.
Any other late introduction? If not, Madam Clerk.
On page 15, adoption of resolutions, Standing Committee Report numbers 3827 and 3828 for adoption.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of said standing committee reports.
Senator Kanuha.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Said resolutions have been adopted.
Referrals and re-referrals.
Referrals and re-referrals are made in accordance with the supplemental orders of the day that may be filed later today.
On page 16, miscellaneous business, reconsideration of disagreement to House amendments and motions to agree. Senate Bill 2958, House Draft 1, relating to statutory revision, amending or repealing various provisions of the Hawaii Revised Statutes or the session laws of Hawaii for the purposes of correcting errors and references, clarifying language, or deleting obsolete or unnecessary provisions.
Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate reconsider its previous action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the House to SB 2958 and agree to said amendments.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the mother of all housekeeping bills, and to their credit, the House found a mistake in it, and they were right, and therefore we should accept their amendment. Mahalo.
Thank you. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. One-day notice is hereby given for final reading of SB 2958 HD1.
No further business, Mr. President.
Are there any announcements today? If not, the chair has one. There will be a Senate Majority Caucus meeting immediately after we adjourn today. Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate stand adjourned until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Senator Kanuha.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. If there are no objections from the members, the Senate will stand adjourned until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.